Hey everybody, it's Monster back here with Opus Gaming, and I'm here today to bring you actually our first ever playtesting match on the sim for OPO3. This is going to be one of my teammates and friends, Randy, piloting Katakuri versus one of our other friends, Den, who's going to be on the new Magellan list. And for some reason, Magellan is looking really strong. They didn't get a crazy amount of support, but the support cards that they did get really do flush out the archetype well. So I think it's really interesting, and it's a really good match. Before we get into the gameplay of the OPO3 sim, you guys already know we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting super close to 750. Once we get to 750, we're going to do another big reveal, but I'm going to have more details and our last reveal in the description down below. So click the link if you guys are interested, but drop a sub if you're not subbed already. Leave a like, leave a comment. You guys already know, but let's get into the gameplay right away today. Alright, moving into the gameplay here, we're going to go through the mulligan phase, and both players are going to keep their first hand and set out their mulligan. Katakuri's going to have an easy first turn Dawn pass. Magellan's going to have an easy first turn 2 Dawn, tap 2, play Black Maria pass. Going into Katakuri's first real turn of the game, we're sitting on 3 Dawn, deciding what we're going to play and how we're going to attack on the first turn. So we're going to resolve Katakuri's effect, we're going to look at life, put it at bottom and go up to 7k, force a damage. And then we're going to tap 2, play Sanji. Magellan, going into his second turn on 4 Dawn, is going to swing lead into lead for 5. We take the damage as the Katakuri player. And here we're just looking how we want to follow that up. So we're going to tap 1 for a Hannibal. The Searcher, we're going to look at top 5, grab 1, and then tap 3 for a mini Rhinoceros. Going back into Katakuri's turn, this is another really important turn. We're on 5 Dawn, so we have to decide what we want to do here. So we're going to swing 6k into leader with 1 Dawn, resolve leader effect, look at the life, and put it to the bottom again, and go up to 7k. So that's a really solid play. Pushing damage, he's already down to 3. We haven't pulled that blocker off his board yet, but here we're deciding whether or not we want to establish more board presence and play a card. And I actually do think that that's super important. So we'll see if we end up attacking with the Sanji, but that would just, yep, we're going to tap and create some board presence here. So we see the vanilla 6k come down, and then Charlotte Opera. And now going back over to Magellan's side, we start off with a mini Rhinoceros attack into leader for 5k into 5k. That is just, you're going to have to counter out of that to stay at 4 life here. You don't want to give your opponent too much free damage in this part of the game. And we also want to see if we can get some triggers going. So we end up countering out, and then we tap 6, play a king. King's going to kill that vanilla from last turn, and it's going to boost Magellan by 1k. So 6k coming into leader, we have to take the damage, and it goes back to our turn. Here we're a little bit worried just because the Magellan player has so much of a board setup right here. So as Katakuri, you want to attach a Dawn, definitely push some damage, but you also want to develop a little bit of a board here as well. So you see we have an event card in hand, so we are able to most likely stabilize a little bit here, but we're going to play the Searcher. And here I definitely think that you needed to pick up a 2k counter instead of the Big Mom, but picking up the Big Mom here does put you on curve, but it just isn't what you need in this situation. You need more counter power in hand, and you have an 8 and a 10 drop, so you have your bigger line already. You have a turn 9 play, or a 9 Dawn turn play, and a 10 Dawn turn play. So we kind of fumbled the search here. We're going to swing for 5 at Magellan, and Magellan's actually going to take the damage here instead of burning the Black Maria. We're going to tap out and put another body on board, and that's going to be our turn. So going back over to Magellan, we're going to see another 5k into lead. And this is definitely where it's going to start wearing down, where you just don't want to give out free damage for 5k. Especially when you know you have a 7k coming in just 1 second here, or at least 7. Alright, and we took the damage, and then yep, it's a trigger card. So this is really nice having our cracker come down, because now we can present lethal. We see a 7k come into leader, and we counter out to 10k. So we get out of that attack, and then we see a Magellan come down. Magellan's gonna hit the Dawn curve, which really makes it unfortunate that we grabbed that Big Mom before. And we see a 7k into lead coming in now. We're forced to, well, we'll see if we're able to counter out of this. Nope. And then we take the damage, we're down to 1 life here, and we draw for turn. Donning up here, we kind of have to go for game, but him having a blocker and having had that blocker the whole time is rough. So we see a 5, we're going to start trying to clear board here, and with how big Magellan's hand is, it's like almost an impossible feat. So we see a 1k counter out here to get out of that. We see another 5k into mini Rhinoceros. And he's deciding whether he wants to let it die here, just so he can get that draw too. But I don't think he does, just because the extra body on board to guarantee KO next turn is important. So Here we see Katakuri come down, put a 2k counter back into our life, and we tap out for it. And then just going back over to Magellan, and this is where Magellan is just going to take off, right? They have the choice to either clear our board. They have so many attacks that we can't defend against. Even if we do heal and trash and everything like that, we have just such good control over the board that Magellan is just controlling this game. Magellan's looking so strong here. So here we see 6k into lead just because we can afford to burn a 2k out of our opponent's hand. So we have easier swings, like putting this 7k onto our opponent's leader. Our opponent's forced to take. And then we tap, we play a queen here. Queen, down -1, draw 2, it'll buff Magellan. And then Magellan will push for a nice easy 7k, rip more cards out of our opponent's hand, a 2k and another counter, which will just leave them naked going into the next turn because they've spent so many cards this turn trying to live. So even that heal here won't really help. Magellan is just really pushing that aggression on properly. So just thinking about whether or not we want to resolve the attack or not, and it's going to cost us 2 cards in hand. So here now we're stuck with that Big Mom that we picked up earlier. We have a 10 drop Big Mom and an event in hand, so our hand is dead here. Here we start to try to clear again. With how much Dawn we're on and knowing that we're going to tap out, all of our attacks have to be vanilla, so we're not putting any gas behind these, so it's really easy for Queen to get the free block here. We're going to tap, we're going to Big Mom, heal ourselves, trash our opponent's life, and then just looking at follow-up attacks here. I think here you have to turn everything sideways as the yellow player for a chance to get that last life and a chance to burn some of your opponent's resources, because your opponent's just completely out resourcing you here, so that's your only chance to really interact. So we see AK into Queen, which is very smart. That's definitely the play here, but unfortunately the Magellan player just has an event card here, so we Judgment of Hell, -3k, get out of the attack, and then just go back into our turn. This is almost guaranteed here for the Magellan player, even at 2 life. For the yellow player, it's just too much advantage deficit here between all of the cards. But we'll see how we decide to progress and get through these last couple cards. With only 3 cards in hand and being forced to take all attacks, 7k is going to be an easy take. Just thinking about what we're going to do here. Okay, we finally took it. And then you can't really let your opponent know that your hand is naked and your hand is dead. But yeah, no, his hand is dead here. There's no chance to combo out of any of these attacks here. You see, we hit a trigger here that lets us draw 3, discard 2, so we get to get rid of some of those naked cards. But for some reason, we decide to discard counters here. But we're just we were dead in the water anyway, so yep, that's gonna be it. Yeah, and that's game there. So that's going to be the Magellan deck just looking really, really good here. Magellan with the new support and having a card that can A, you want to swing with every single turn that comes out in the early game, but B, having such a good payoff that when it dies you draw 2 cards is pretty crazy in my opinion. Mini Rhinosaurus really helps the deck, and then also just the way the deck can continuously be aggressive through the game. Yellow had no chance in this matchup, but if you guys like this type of content, you guys want to see some more OP03 sim games, let me know. But this is me, Monster with Opus Gaming, and I'm out. Take care.